Hi, everyone, and thanks for being with us for Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Evan Noorani. We've made it to Tuesday, and with it, another warm day in the forecast. We have been talking for weeks on end about how hot temperatures have been and about this gradual climb that we've been seeing too. We've really noticed that over the last about 4 weeks in particular, we've seen heat advisory after heat advisory, extreme heat warning after extreme heat warning. They've actually been issued and reissued many separate times, with the most recent happening last night. Last night we saw a extreme heat warning expire across our mountains and then reissued immediately all the way through this upcoming Saturday. And for our deserts, we saw an extreme heat warning just extended through Saturday. So the heat will continue. But the whole point of Beyond the Forecast, as we've talked about before, is to be able to encompass all sorts of topics at hand: the environment, the weather, and then, of course, just plenty of talk around it. You might notice, of course, for the last several months, or at least the last month for this show, we've been without our lovely Vanessa Paz, an integral part of the show. The reason why is because Vanessa has been very busy. She just left the hospital and is now back home with her amazing son, Luca. So we want to give congratulations to Luca Anthony Navarro on having two amazing parents, Vanessa Paz and her husband, Sean. This was the photo shared with us of Luca wrapped up in his baby blanket there. And of course, also a photo of Vanessa and Sean holding him as well and holding his hand. There it is, a beautiful photo. So we want to give a huge congratulations to baby Luca, born just over a week ago, doing wonderful at home with Vanessa and Sean. And of course, when they are back here at CBS 8, we're excited to welcome them back to Beyond the Forecast. But in the meantime, want to give that big congratulations. We have a lot to get to in the show today. We'll, of course, be talking about that heat. One of the things that has been playing a big role, and not the heat, but the humidity, has been our ocean water. Our ocean water temperatures have been warming up every single month. They have now pushed us into what is very likely to be not only an El Nino season for the fall and the winter, but likely a super El Nino is what it's referred to as. We want to give you a little explainer of what we're talking about in terms of what this season could shape up like, and then we'll talk a little bit on the back end about what that could mean for our forecast going into the fall and the winter season. Take a look.
As El Nino continues to develop in the Central Pacific, it's forecast to reach warm levels rarely seen. The water temperatures in the key Niño 3.4 region could be 2 to 3 degrees Celsius above average, maybe even more. This is known as a very strong or super El Nino and has only been recorded 3 times in recent memory: 1982 to 83, 1997 to 98, and 2015 to 2016. But this year could be stronger than all of those, and researchers using various techniques can now compare it to a similar, very strong El Nino back in 1877. Global impacts during El Ninos can range from very wet winters to severe droughts. In 1877, the impacts of the very strong El Nino were truly catastrophic, with massive crop failures. So, could this happen again? In part, yes, we could see severe droughts, but it's not likely to have the same outcome that brought major areas of food loss to India and China and a very large loss of life. Those countries were dealing with unique circumstances, like swapping food crops to feed populations for cash crops, as well as lack of irrigation, groundwater, electricity, and global aid. Quite simply, the world is very different from 1877, even if El Nino could match similar temperatures and extreme weather patterns.
And the last part of that was, I think, key to this. The idea is that the extreme weather patterns could become a huge staple of an El Nino season. Typically, in Southern California, what an El Nino fall and winter could look like would come in the form of absolutely still having those massive droughts, meaning massive stretches that we go without any rainfall. But they also tend to lead to immense rainfall when those rain events occur. So instead of having a steady season where we're watching and seeing maybe average weekly, monthly levels come in, we could go, say, a month without any rain and then have one single day where an immense amount of rain falls. That would be the idea. Now, what we have to keep in mind with this is that when Southern California sees massive rainfall at one time, we oftentimes do not have the infrastructure to be able to support it. We tend to see rapid flooding in areas like concrete jungles, downtown areas, for example, very urban environments, just because the ground can't can't absorb a lot of the same water. We've also seen time frames where those storm drains are filled with tree limbs or debris or tree leaves from the fall season. So that will be a staple, perhaps, of the upcoming El Nino season and the Super El Nino season. One part of it that we notice right now is how hot our ocean water is. You hop in the water right now off our coast. Temperatures are in the about upper 70s right now as far as ocean water goes, which is just incredible to see. Here's what we see outside right now as far as your current temperatures go. I mean, San Diego, for example, is at 71 degrees, LA at 75. Our ocean water is hotter than all of these coastal temperatures right now. 78 degrees or so out along the coast itself. So that's going to be a staple too, is the humidity to watch for. What I would say we want to watch closely is the possibility that those immense downpours of rain are still going to outperform likely our average numbers. We should still get a pretty wet water year with a super El Nino. The question on hand is going to be, will these immense bouts of rainfall lead to localized flooding, flash flooding, perhaps, the ground being able to absorb all that water, or will crops fail, as we saw in that explainer? I think the detail added to that explainer, which is that times are a lot different now than they were in those years when we did have crops failing, it could possibly, of course, give us some resolve and some lack of concern there. So we'll keep tabs on it. It is just too soon to know exactly what that means when it comes to that Super El Nino event and what it could mean for our fall, but it does give us a lot of insight. There's plenty more online that can also give you details on it. I think we're going to now Earth 8? No? Should we? We're going to toss to break instead. We'll come to that in a little bit. But again, a lot more to come here in Beyond the Forecast. We'll be taking a look at what's going on in terms of things in the Zevely zone and also take a look at your extended forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. We have been talking for days now about the wildfires that have been burning across the Pacific Northwest, mainly in the Spokane area. That is not only a concern across the Pacific Northwest, but also one that we see here in Southern California as well. We want to switch gears and talk about the Zevely zone. Jeff Zevely is going to take us inside of the Zevely zone as we learn about the measures that one group of volunteers takes protecting animals during a wildfire, and of course, what we can do to help as well. Take a look.
As much as we try to prepare for wildfires, some items are hard to move no matter what, like a frightened 1,800-pound animal.
That was a very daring rescue.
When flames are racing your way.
This is driving into the fire.
And large animals are trapped.
This is what it looks like when our brave people drive right into the fire.
The California Animal Rescue Ranger Evacuation Team, known as CARROT, is ready to risk their lives to save horses, livestock, and exotic animals.
It is my joy to save animals.
Jackie Grande, the president of CARROT, has helped save more than 10,000 animals in the past 20 years.
We have people that specialize in sheep, people that specialize in goats, people that specialize in turtles. We have so many different wonderful people. Our team is amazing.
The California Animal Rescue Rangers are all volunteers. Their services are free, as are those with the San Diego Humane Society.
Yeah, this is our command trailer, so it's fully equipped. We have radios, equipment.
Lieutenant Justin Stillians runs San Diego Humane Society's emergency response team. His advice for animal owners: have a plan.
Even though groups like us exist, we really urge people to have an evacuation plan for their animals. Be prepared to care for your animals for at least 48 to 72 hours.
Last year, Lieutenant Stillians and his team went behind the fire lines at the Eaton fire.
We helped with everything from cattle, horses, dogs, cats, pigeons, peacocks, even some fish.
As for CARROT, the nonprofit organization launched a new campaign called Fuel the Rescue.
One run with a truck, a diesel truck, could cost up to $200 or more. So that means just one trip there and back.
With the recent surge in fuel prices, the group is asking for your support. So their help can always be on the way to save your animals
and humans, because humans think of their animals as their children a lot of times, and they will stay in the fire and die with their animals if they can't get them out. I would be one of those people. I wouldn't leave my animals. I'd die with them.
The next time your animals need a lift in a hurry, you'll know who to call.
I'm an animal lover. I actually like animals better than people.
In the Zeppeli Zone,
You tell me how much I love you?
Jeff Zeppeli,
Huh?
News 8.
And again, this is very representative of what people are feeling up in the Pacific Northwest. Any hand on deck that can help out is doing so. You can also go to Spokanimals website up there. Spokane has a huge presence in terms of the animal rescue scene, and they also need people's help in terms of rescuing those animals, making sure they have places to stay and the resources that they need to stay healthy and strong. There is still a lot of ongoing work in terms of accounting for horses and alpacas and all the wildlife up there in the Pacific Northwest. So that story there from Jeff just gives us a good example of what people are dealing with right now, and of course what we can expect. It is a year-round fire season here in Southern California, and something we're concerned about year-round. So as we head through the rest of the winter, or excuse me, as the rest of the summer comes about and we head toward the fall season, that enhanced fire concern will be something to watch for. Drier and drier vegetation, fires that can start up and spread rapidly, even here in Southern California, because while we may not be seeing the brunt of it right now, other parts of the country definitely are. We have another quick break in store. Join us after that. We'll be taking a look at your extended forecast. Stay with us.
Often when people get caught up in rip currents, they panic. That typically comes from not knowing what to do in that type of situation.
Yeah, Sean Stiles did the story a few years back. It's evergreen advice. He explains how to spot a rip current and then goes into the water to show us how to escape danger.
It's that time of year where everyone is heading to the beach, and the beach can be a very dangerous place. Right now we're standing in front of a rip current. I'm going to go get caught in one, let it pull me out, and I will show you how we'll end up down at the end of the beach.
We see thigh deep as being deep enough to be under the influence of the current.
And it doesn't take long for the current to be dangerous.
It can go 2 feet deeper with one step. People will walk off the sandbar straight into a deeper location and immediately turn around and want to get back to the sandbar and start their efforts to get back, but it's already too late.
Which is what we've done, and now I'm allowing to pull me out.
And when you feel yourself getting pulled into the effect of the rip current and boom, you lose your footing, that's a good indication that you've got to go with the current now, stay calm, face the waves.
So you can hold your breath, duck under the wave, and look for the shallower water where the waves are breaking.
Start to do your side stroke and get back to the sandbar.
Stay calm and steady so not to waste energy. But if you find yourself in trouble,
you can always put up your hand. We urge people to do that. Don't hesitate. If you need help, put up your hand.
But if you want to play it safe, here's what you should look for.
So it's irregular, choppy water with the foam of the breaking wave dissipating because it's deeper, and you're seeing more green water or brown water.
The winter storms have moved a lot of sand.
This time of year, too, in the spring, it's typically dangerous with the rip currents because the beaches are starting to change from the winter profile back into the summer profile.
Those berms and swales are up and down the beach.
And those create areas where there are deeper holes where the water recedes and goes back out, and it creates sandbars.
And here's 3 simple rules.
Be sensible, know your limits, and go into the correct areas.
The ocean can be a fun place and it can be a dangerous place. If you try to fight it and work against the rip current, you're going to have your problems. But if you learn how to tame it, you can make it your playground and have a lot of fun in this place we call San Diego in the Pacific Ocean.
And that info comes in handy to all the families that are heading west. It's been a really hot last couple of weeks, and we know that the beach is one of the most popular places to be. That is why we live in San Diego after all. So take a live look outside. This is what we see. So many people already out there in the water, and that is because, again, our water temperature is in the upper 70s. Our air temperature is already in the about upper 70s, or at least the mid 70s. So it's looking great outside, despite the fact fact that it is still overcast right now. We're going to be talking more about that in our extended forecast, but the reminder there with those rip currents is that, number one, all summer long we've had many high surf advisories, beach hazard statements, coastal flood advisories. The reminder with all of these is to check in with a lifeguard before you hop in the water. They're the experts on what's going on around the beach. They may say something as simple as, hey, why don't you head 50 feet south or 50 feet north. They may also say, now's not the time to get in the water. The best case scenario is that whatever happens while you are in the water, you've got someone with eyes on you who can come and help you or find the people to help you. But again, it has been really warm across San Diego County, especially the farther east you are. Let's get a quick look at your extended forecast. Hey there, thanks for being with us for a CBS 8 extended weather forecast on our Tuesday. Seeing temperatures a little bit more mild than they were over this past weekend, but still on the warmer side of average. I'd say we will take any help we can get. Temperature cool down welcome. Of course, something a little bit more robust would probably be more welcome. It looks like we'll head toward a cooler range as we get toward the beginning and middle of next week. But again, that is still a ways out. In the meantime, between now, Tuesday, and the upcoming weekend, temperatures are going to keep climbing. This is what we saw as of this morning. Overcast skies all the way through sunrise and the hours following. Sunset coming our way at 7:44 p.m. 87 degrees this afternoon as that high in Escondido, 91 in Ramona, 88 in El Cajon. Coastline generally in the upper 70s. These temperatures, again, are right around average, if not slightly warmer than average. That warmer than average marker is much more noticeable the farther east you go. So we're going to hold on to these warmer than normal temperatures. Today and tomorrow are the most mild, though, of those days. Then as we get toward the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we start to see those temperatures climb once again. We broke some records yesterday. Could move toward that range, especially again out toward our mountains and deserts as we get toward the weekend. This ridge of high pressure is also going to start to send some monsoonal moisture towards Southern California. Not a guarantee, but seems like we have about a 10 to 20% chance day to day to see some pop-up showers, especially out toward our local mountains and deserts. Not a lot of wraparound moisture there, but it's going to be a risk that we watch for daily as instability peaks. So we'll watch for that moving through the end of the week in particular. 7-day forecast takes the coastline right back to the low 80s by the time we get to Friday and Saturday, whereas today and tomorrow are in that more mild range. And then we'll see those temperatures begin to slide by Monday. In particular, 10-day models have shown that Tuesday, Wednesday takes us back down to a much more comfortable range too. The hope is that those models are staying in agreement through the end of the week, and that would give us a lot more confidence that we'll finally be out of the woods in terms of this heat wave in particular that has lasted about a month in total. Temperatures are making their way from 86 Tuesday and Wednesday up to the low 90s by Saturday and Sunday. Inland going to be pretty hot out there. Overnight lows in the upper 60s and even some low 70s. A heat advisory has now been issued for our mountains all the way through Saturday, and for the deserts, an extreme heat warning that was said to expire tonight has been extended all the way through Saturday as well. So that'll be the end date and time, 8 p.m. for both the mountains and deserts to see weather impact days leave us. A little bit more mild for Sunday and Monday. For the latest in the forecast, download our free streaming app on your phone or TV.
In an El Nino year, the Pacific hurricane season is usually more active due to warmer sea surface temperatures and weaker vertical wind shear. This means conditions for tropical development are more favorable both at the surface and in the atmosphere. Over in the Atlantic, the hurricane season is usually less active during El Nino due to stronger trade winds and a generally more stable atmosphere. It doesn't mean tropical storms can't form, just that conditions are not as favorable. In a La Nina year, it's the opposite. The Pacific season is usually reduced due to cooler sea surface temperatures and stronger wind shear, while the Atlantic season is usually busier due to weaker trade winds and a less stable atmosphere. No matter the climate pattern, make your hurricane season preparations. It only takes one storm.
There is a 63% chance a very strong El Nino will be in place later this year. Its impacts can be felt across the globe. During a strong El Nino event, warmer than normal ocean water near the equator changes the jet stream, shifting storm tracks and altering weather patterns thousands of miles away. That can bring heavier rain and flooding to parts of the southern United States and parts of South America. while places like Australia, Indonesia, and southern Africa often see hotter, drier conditions that can increase wildfire risk. A strong El Nino impacts fisheries, agriculture, and coral reefs, making it one of the most important climate patterns meteorologists monitor. It typically leads to a large increase in global temperatures as well. For example, the strongest El Nino on record, the 1997-98 El Nino, increased global temperatures by 1.5 degrees Celsius.
And like we mentioned a bit earlier in the show, that could also manifest as some very hot temperatures and dry conditions for a long stretch, and then these sudden downpours of rain, wind, thunderstorm activity. It's all something that we're going to have to wait and see in terms of how this El Nino season potentially shapes up. In the meantime, enjoy another warm week across San Diego County. We appreciate you being here for Beyond the Forecast. I'm meteorologist Evan Noorani. Big shout out to our director, Alan, for leading the charge there behind the scenes, and we appreciate you being with us. We'll see you back here in due time. You can always join us at 11 a.m. too for the latest newscast.